Okay, so we're diving deep today into a book that's both really chilling and completely captivating.
Yeah,
Michelle McNamara's I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
right.
Have you had a chance to
I have, yeah. It's an incredible book.
It really is. It's the story of her pursuit of the Golden State Killer, which, for anyone who's not familiar, is really a terrifying figure in California history.
Absolutely. Yeah, spend decades.
Yeah, and the thing that makes this book so interesting is it's not just about catching this monster.
Right.
It's really about McNamara's journey and her obsession,
Yeah, her process.
and how her work helped crack the case even after she died.
Even after she was gone, it's amazing.
So let's start maybe by talking about Michelle McNamara herself.
Sure.
She was a journalist and a true crime enthusiast, not a detective or police officer.
Yeah.
But she really kind of took it upon herself to delve into this case that had really stumped seasoned detectives for years.
Yeah, for decades.
It's fascinating to me that she would take this on.
Well, and she was really meticulous too, right? She was combing through these old police reports, and she was really active in these early online forums.
Yeah, she's kind of a pioneer in that way.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
these were the very early days of true crime communities online, and she was right there in the thick of it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that struck me was her focus on the victims.
Yeah.
Oftentimes law enforcement is so focused on the evidence and the procedure.
Absolutely.
She really brought a level of empathy to the case and to telling their stories.
Right. And I think that's a big part of why the book resonates so strongly with readers.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So maybe let's talk about the crimes themselves, because obviously they were horrifying.
Yeah. Truly horrific.
Can you give us a sense of the scope of what the Golden State Killer did?
Well, so between 1974 and 1986, this one individual committed at least 13 murders, over 50 rapes, and over 100 burglaries.
That's hard to even fathom.
And, you think about the impact on these communities, just the terror that he inflicted on people.
Yeah, just the idea of living during that time, knowing that this person was out there.
Yeah. And he was so good at evading capture. It's really incredible how he managed to stay ahead of law enforcement for so long.
Well, and I think the book does a good job of explaining that it was partially due to the limitations of technology and investigative techniques at the time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this was before DNA testing was widely used, and police departments weren't sharing information as readily as they do now.
So he was able to kind of exploit those cracks in the system.
Exactly.
So you have this cold case limited technology, a fragmented approach to investigation, and yet McNamara was still convinced that this case could be solved.
And she really believed in the power of new technologies.
She was really ahead of her time.
Yeah, she was advocating for DNA analysis and the use of online communities to advance the investigation long before those things were common practice.
It's really tragic that she didn't live to see those tools used to finally catch him.
Yeah, it really is. She died in 2016 before she could finish the book.
But thankfully, her husband, Patton Oswalt, and a team of other researchers and journalists were able to complete her work.
Yeah, and the book was published in 2018.
And then just 2 years later,
Yeah, what happened?
Joseph James D'Angelo was arrested and identified as the Golden State Killer.
It's amazing how quickly it all unfolded after the book came out.
It's almost like her work directly contributed to his capture.
Well, it did in a way. Investigators used a technique called familial DNA searching.
Okay.
They uploaded the Golden State Killer's DNA profile to a public genealogy database and were able to find a partial match to a distant relative of D'Angelo's.
Wow, so they worked their way back through the family tree.
Exactly. And from there, they were able to zero in on him.
That's incredible. So McNamara's vision for using DNA and genealogy really played a part in solving this case.
Absolutely.
It's a powerful testament to her dedication.
It really is. And it speaks to the larger themes of the book, too. Well, the importance of empathy in investigations, the potential of technology to solve even the most complex cold cases, and really the idea that one person's relentless pursuit of the truth can make a difference.
It's really an incredible story.
Yeah.
And I think it leaves us with a lot to think about.
What kinds of things?
Well, how technology is changing the way we solve crimes, how we can better support victims, and what is it about these cases that captures our attention so much?
I think there's something about the darkness of the human psyche that fascinates us and maybe even frightens us a little.
Yeah, I think that's true. So for anyone who's interested in true crime or the psychology behind these kinds of cases, I highly recommend reading I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
It's a powerful book.
It really is. It's unforgettable.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for this deep dive.
Yeah, that was a fascinating one.
It really was. Until next time.
See ya. Bye. Bye.